Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Zen, and really excited to have this episode with you guys today. This is number three, part three of the Flare Network series that I'm doing. I'm going to go into how to use your Spark tokens to get passive income. Then I'm also going to go into a new partnership that I think is awesome for the DeFi space and Flare especially. So that's some of the main topics. We're going to start with some current event news with the whole community. So right now in Miami, there's an entire Bitcoin conference, tons and tons, and I think it's the biggest one ever. Really, really big. So all the who's who are there, and they're talking about crypto and this new future. And we kind of been stagnant in the market. Like we've been at a dollar for a long time. Bitcoin's been where it's at. So what do you think is going to happen after this conference? You think we're going to see an uptrend, or do you think we're going to continue this bear market? So I think this is a big marker. It's funny because I've been recommending everybody to watch the show Startup on Netflix, which is all based. It came out a few years ago, but it's all based about cryptocurrencies and decentralization, and mainly it's all based in Miami, Florida. So that Miami governor, I have a video a few months back, but the Miami governor all on board with the Miami mayor. Sorry, the Miami mayor all on board with crypto. So it's like one of the most crypto friendly places to be. I mean, their flag, Florida flag, is literally an X. So that's pretty funny. But let's watch this Mayweather clip because I think this is important as we move forward from this underground thing to like a mainstream. I think this is an important message that Mayweather is reminding us. So let's watch.
You must have a lot of mental toughness there.
I want the people to believe in themselves. And everybody in the crypto world is competing with one another. Whereas I feel like everybody should be able to choose what they want to choose and go with who they want to go with. I think everybody should work together. And what I always did was I believed in myself. Before anybody else believed in me, I believed in myself. And I believe that it's going to be, another cryptocurrency that's going to be just as large as Bitcoin someday. It's okay. That's no different from Uber and Lyft. That's no. Everybody's entitled. Everybody's entitled today. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I got to where I got.
A lot of the show in Startup is about a coin that actually surpasses Bitcoin. And think about it. So one of the things that he said was, okay, so we need to stop looking at each other as enemies. We all, at the big grand scheme of things, I mean, some people are only in this for greed and money now, but when this whole thing first started, it was all about becoming free, sovereign humans, getting control of the banking system, like ending the banking cartel. Now people have turned it into like a tribalism. Like they don't want to. They're so like, what is Bitcoin? It's a store of value. It's one area, but there's so much more that we could help make decentralized. So why are they pretty much booing the thought of innovation happening? That's so lame. And I think as a community, we all need to do better at I made a metaphor before. It's like I think the future is kind of going to be like sports teams. You know how like, oh, I'm a Laker fan, I'm a Celtic fan, and both people have a reason of what, like, people argue in bars in the future, I believe. Oh, I'm an Algorand holder. Oh, I'm an XRP holder. I'm an XLM holder. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think Peter Thiel has a quote that in the future, people will have lots of options. So that way a government can't corrupt one. Let's say a government corrupts one of the coins. We could dump it and move to another one. So the options is the beauty of this whole thing. And of course, there will be ones that solve bigger problems like XRP, the chosen one. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be funny how tribalistic we are right now. Let's go into Flare Network. So I believe that Flare Network, the community of Flare, actually is what brings everybody together. It's what makes everybody happy. It's going to allow 65% of the dormant blockchains to all come together and be able to use it. Right now, all my tokens are just sitting in a ledger. Now I'll be able to utilize them and get rewards, yield, passive income by letting my investment work for me, and by providing Spark as the collateral. So let's watch this video. I highly suggest. I'm gonna recommend two channels if you want to get the best Flare news. So Flare Community is one of them. They have 30,000 subscribers, and they are where I'm getting a lot of my knowledge. So go check out this dude. Let's watch it.
Is essential for the network to run, as it is required to mint F assets on the system. The Spark token is the lubricant of the network. In order to function, an engine requires fuel, just like the Flare network requires Spark. In order for assets to be created on the Flare network, Spark must be locked up as collateral. This process protects users and provides a trustless way to mint assets with zero risk. That's great, but do you know what's better? The fact that you can earn passive income as an agent by providing Spark as collateral. If you wish to understand the role of agents on the Flare network, I would highly recommend watching the video on the creation/redemption process of FXRP, linked above. When agents get paid for providing collateral, they get paid in the underlying asset which is being minted. For example, XRP, Litecoin, or Dogecoin. Let's look at another use case. DeFi is an abbreviation of two words, decentralized and finance. All assets on the Flare network, including both F assets and Spark, can be used with decentralized finance applications, such as those being built by Flare Finance. Soon, you will have the ability to use your Spark holdings to provide liquidity to Flare Finance's decentralized exchange product, FlareX. This gives Spark holders yet another way to create an additional income. Remember, I mentioned about the FTSO data providers and how you are able to delegate your vote to receive a chunk of the rewards which they receive? Well, let's talk about where the Spark rewards come from. Built into the Flare network is an inflation mechanism for Spark, which is currently set at 10% each year. This 10%, as mentioned, is used to incentivize those who actively support the network. As discussed earlier, this figure of 10% can be adjusted by the Flare community if they wish by voting to do so. We will run the network, and if enough people vote for a particular change, it will certainly happen. So, you may be thinking how amazing this sounds. Well, you're right, it is. The demand for Spark once people begin to discover the Flare network will be unreal. Now consider the fact that more Spark will have to be provided as collateral as the network grows. Take a glimpse into the future and realize that Spark may be one of the highest demanded assets in the space. Communities of various assets will begin discovering the benefits of the Flare network as more assets are onboarded to the system. You can think of the Flare network as a community of communities. The Flare network will launch in Q2 2021 with a target for May/June. I hope that you are excited as me. The party is yet to begin. XRP on alleged device.
So there you have it. That's let me show you guys something real quick. So that's gonna, as soon as everyone else finds out about this flare, like everyone's gonna want to join. It's gonna be the community of all the other communities. XRP community is in love with it. All the other communities are gonna fall in love with it too, and we're gonna want to be a part of it. So it's gonna be massively in demand. And they say the Spark token is the engine. It's pretty much like the gas that runs the whole engine, right? Well, look at this Bearable Guy, Lodestar 3. Bearable Guy is a Riddler. Now you're starting to understand like why these people that are in charge of this whole XRP operation have these riddles and has all this, they ask all these questions to get people to critically think and use logic, because we have a huge responsibility ahead of us with going, like the Greeks took education and knowledge really serious, I heard, because they were a democracy and like people needed to be smart if they're going to vote. So we need intelligent people that understand logic, that understand that are intellectual to vote on the system where they're going to vote the dumbest shit. So this is what was really interesting. So I read this on Wizards, the show I did, Wake Up Wizards, yesterday. The world is changing, my friends. The people are utilizing the power of the internet, are finally able to communicate with each other, and together they are rejecting the shackles that the powers that be have tried to place upon the masses. Here it is. Money shall not be controlled like it has been by the unseen hands in dark rooms, for XRP is the spark plug that ignites the engine of bulldozer of change that will ram right through their walls of stagnation. These walls will come down. Wow, so XRP is the spark plug. I've also showed the 17 connection with the spark plug to reignite the engine. So interesting, the similarities, interesting. Moving forward. So today, Flare announced a huge partnership. So Panther Protocol announced that they're going to be teaming up with and building on the Flare networks. How can I have financial privacy and remain compliant? So that's what Panther Protocol was able to provide. Regulatory compliant privacy for us. So it's getting even better, like more good news is coming. Only people I choose to disclose to are aware of my transactions. Transactions are disclosed to counterparty in exchange for some service like credit hack. To everyone else, they remain private. Flare said regulatory compliant privacy is a likely prerequisite for institutional uptake of on-chain asset tokenization and trading. We're very excited for the potential that Panther brings to Flare. So now we'll be able to operate on the Flare networks with privacy. Well, that's a big concern for a lot of people. So that's something to be thankful for. I've seen a Mr. Pool post that looks exactly like this. If you guys have it, please share it with me. So Panther, step into private DeFi. Restore financial privacy, protect your alpha and individual freedoms with interoperable zero-knowledge assets. So that is really awesome. Groundbreaking privacy-enhancing technology for DeFi. There is no privacy on-chain. Retail, institutional traders, and whales are risk losing their competitive advantages by having their transaction history observed. Strategies reverse engineered, front run, rapidly turning their alpha into obsolete tactics. Yeah, so if you have all this money and you're like, you don't want people to know your wallets and know to see what moves you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Especially these financial institutions. So the Panther coins are Z assets, just like XRP is an F asset. So their game plan is to be up and going by 2022 quarter two. So another great resource for information on Flare, probably the most thorough information. And they did a whole video on this as well. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen their videos, is Mikey and Patty XRP. Where are they at? Here it is. So Mikey B. Fresh, the DeFi standard, this is who you also want to follow for the most in-depth knowledge on DeFi and the Flare networks. So they have a whole video on this partnership. Oliver Gale is the dude in charge. Interesting connection. He was the director of Polymath in 2020. Polymath is a pretty